Transposition is a necessary skill for all orchestral trumpet players to develop, and even though it may not be necessary for everybody else, it's an incredibly helpful skill to have in general. Did you forget to bring your C trumpet to a gig? Just transpose. Are you playing Mahler and you forgot your F trumpet? Just transpose. Do you have a difficult passage in a piece of music? Pick up a different trumpet and just transpose. In this video, I want to talk about how to understand transposition with the hopes that it will help you in your efforts to get better at this skill. We're going to break this video down into 3 different parts. First, we're going to talk about how to just think about transposing. Second, we're going to dive into how to understand how to apply that to music. And third, I'm just going to give some tips about how to find more success in your practice sessions when trying to learn how to transpose. So when you're trying to understand how to think about transposing, the best way that I know how to do that is to compare the key of the instrument you're holding to the key of the music that you are playing. For example, let's say I'm holding a C trumpet and I'm playing music that is written for trumpet in B flat. To go from C to B flat is down 1 whole step. So every note that I play in this music will be transposed down 1 whole step. If I'm holding a piccolo trumpet pitched in A and the music I'm playing is trumpet in D, to go from A to D is up a perfect fourth, so all of the notes that I'm going to play in this music will be transposed up a perfect fourth. For a little bit more confusing example, if I'm holding a B flat trumpet and the music is written for trumpet in E, B flat to E is up a tritone, so each note will be transposed up a tritone in the music that I'm playing. I'm going to put a list of transpositions on the screen that are all from C trumpet. So if you want to screenshot this and keep it for future reference, this hopefully will just help you know which direction to go depending on what key you're transposing to while holding a C trumpet. Before we continue, if you find any value in this video whatsoever, I would really appreciate it if you would help me out by liking this video. It really does help the YouTube algorithm figure out who else to send it to, and if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's get back to it. Now that we understand how to figure out what interval you're going to transpose to, let's dive a little bit deeper and get to the meat of this video, where we talk about how to apply it to actual music. It can be tempting to stop at understanding what interval you're doing and then just trying to think of each note up or down, whatever that interval is, but that takes a lot of brain power, and I don't think it's the best way. I think a better way is the way that I was taught, which is instead of thinking each note up or down, you're going to actually think in different key centers based on whatever the transposition is. Let me give you an example. If you're holding a C trumpet and the music is written for trumpet in E flat, we learned in the previous step that C up to E flat is up a minor third, so all of the notes will be transposed up a minor third. But let's apply that to the key as well. If the music is written in the key of G major, you're going to transpose G major up a minor third to B flat major, and you're going to play all of the music in the new key of B flat major on C trumpet. For another example, let's say you're holding an E flat trumpet and the music is written for trumpet in B flat. We know that E flat down to B flat is a perfect fourth, so all of the notes are going to be transposed down a perfect fourth. If we wanted to apply that to the key, let's say the music is written in F sharp minor. F sharp minor down a perfect fourth is going to be C sharp minor. Once you've established the new key that you're going to transpose to, all you need to do is figure out what is the first note, and then you're going to play the intervals as they progress in the new key. Let's show a musical example to help explain what I'm talking about. For this example, we are going to look at Arbin exercise number 13. Now, for the sake of trying to practice transposition, let's say that you're holding a B flat trumpet, but this music was written for trumpet in D. B flat to D is up a major third, so we know each note would be transposed up a major third, and then this was written in the key of G major, and so we know G major up a major third is B major, which would be our new key. So you're going to figure out what's the first note. The first note is a G, which is the tonic of the key, so you know that the tonic of the new key is B major. What you're going to do is you're just going to begin playing the intervals. So the notes don't change at the beginning, so you continue playing Bs, and then the note goes down a half step, and then back up a half step, and then up a whole step, up a whole step. And so you're just going to play those exact intervals in the key of B major. Another exercise we could look at is Arbin exercise number 19. Again, for the sake of argument, let's say you're holding a C trumpet and the music is trumpet in F. C to F is up a perfect fourth, and so all of the notes are going to be transposed up a perfect fourth. This example is in the key of C major, and so we would take C major, go up a perfect fourth to F major, which would be your new transposed key. So as you can see, the first note is the tonic. It's C and C major, so we know that the new first note is going to be F, which is the tonic of F major. And then you're going to go ahead and repeat those first couple of notes and then play down a fourth, up a sixth, down a third, up a fifth, and then back down the triad in the key of F. You're just going to follow the intervals in the new key and everything should work out. It's important to note that knowing your major and minor scales, knowing your diminished arpeggios, your major and minor seventh arpeggios, whole tone scales, octatonic, you can go all crazy with all the different types of scales, but knowing these very, very well and very deeply will be incredibly helpful in being successful when transposing. The reason for this is that you're just going to be able to notice patterns more easily. You'll notice that, oh, this is a scale, oh, this is an arpeggio, and then your brain will just click into, I know this scale or this arpeggio in this new key, and it just takes less mental brain power to figure out what's going on, helping you be able to focus and be more successful. So that's just a basic introduction to transposition. To really truly own it, you're gonna have to practice it and you're gonna have to live with it. I wanna give some practice tips that will help you be able to find more success and be able to stick with it over the long run. The first tip I have is to get comfortable with how this will break your brain. It's a completely different skill than playing the trumpet. It requires different processing power, and it's just gonna take time to wrap your head around what's going on. That's okay. Give yourself the time to learn it and don't judge yourself too hard at the beginning. The next piece of advice I would give is start simple at first. Put the emphasis on just trying to be able to get through something simple that allows you to begin to build some confidence with your ability to transpose. I would recommend starting with common transpositions to start out with, ones that you're going to see regularly in music. The two I would start with are down a step and up a fourth. These are incredibly common and it will serve you well if you can get around them with confidence. Try not to increase the difficulty too soon. When you start to feel comfortable, you need to increase the difficulty, but what I would do is if you feel like you've got a good handle in one key, then what you might do is find more difficult things to play in that same key, or maybe play that same thing in different keys to challenge yourself in different ways. William Vacchiano, one of the former principal trumpets of the New York Philharmonic, had a really cool way of helping his students learn how to transpose. My understanding is that his students would play everything or almost everything they practiced in that key for the week. I've never tried this myself, but if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and give it a shot. As with anything, the more you do it, the better you get. As an orchestral trumpet player, I transpose all the time, and I feel confident enough with those skills that I really don't even have to think about it anymore. If you're not in that same place, don't get too discouraged. Just keep at it. It's very worthwhile to try to develop this skill. And finally, atonal music sucks to transpose. It's just that there's no key center usually, and so although you can try to find patterns, and that's good to do, and you can recognize scales and arpeggios as I mentioned earlier, there's just so much less to hold on to, and so sometimes you do find yourself trying to just figure out almost note by note what is going on. Even for someone like me, transposing atonal music is hard, and more often than not, try to grab the trumpet that it's written for so I can avoid that problem. I hope that this video has been helpful to you in understanding transposition and how to apply it to music, and that these tips that I have shared might help you find more success in the practice room. If you enjoyed this video, you'd probably enjoy this other video of me talking about how I break down my practice sessions in general and how I get a lot done. So if you haven't seen that, check out the video on the screen.